So with the bodice in place, we can start to build on that and start to add in other areas of the dress, like the skirt. And in this video, we're going to look at adding some sleeves. All we're going to do is just build them in exactly the same way as we did the main bodice, and just add those to it. And we'll see how it affects and sort of the workflow involved in that. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to select all the patterns in here. And in this window, just scroll down, right click and use deactivate. You could use deactivate or freeze, and that just means that garment there is locked in place. It's not going to be simulated. It's basically dormant just for now while we work on something else. It's just a nice way of locking off one area when you're then going to start focusing on another, because it means as you're simulating the sleeves, the bodice isn't then getting affected or simulated as well, which could, at the end of the day, it could slow down the whole process for you. So let's just start blocking out a main sleeve. So let's take a rectangle this time. Just make sure Snap to Grid is still enabled. And let's just start building. So roughly, let's see, let's just create something like that. So this, what we want is the front of the sleeve and the back of the sleeve, or you could create the upper part of the sleeve and the lower part of the sleeve. But we'll focus on one, and then we will work on the other. So let's just change the shape of this slightly. In fact, let's leave that as it is. Let's copy and paste and move this up. So we've got the front of the sleeve and the back of the sleeve. Let's sync those with the main viewport. And then we're going to position those roughly where we want them. So we know this one is the back of the sleeve. So let's just move this behind the arm. And again, we've got to move them into position so when they're simulated, they'll pull together and wrap around the limb. Drop this down, like so, roughly. And then we'll maybe rotate those so they match the orientation of the arm. Move that in. So something like that will be fine. Maybe drop that down a little bit more. Now you can't select multiple garments in here, so we'll just do that. And now we just need to sew those up. So using our sewing tool, sew the top to the top. And as you can see in here, we've actually sewn the top to the bottom. So let's undo that. The top to the top, and we can see that's right there. And then just for clarity, we'll sew the bottom to the bottom. So again, let's do a simulate, and we can see that wrap around the arm. Now this is a different colour because this is flipped, so the normals are flipped basically. What we could do is flip that vertically, but then it's trying to fix itself there. But now the seams are all the different way around, so we can use this button here to edit those seams. So we select that one, let's delete it, and delete that one, and again, top to top, yeah, that's right, bottom to bottom, simulate that again. Okay, so maybe we can select that, flip that vertically instead, fix the orientation, and again let's delete those seams. Simulate, that's better. So sometimes if if you're duplicating the patterns and you're playing around with front and rear patterns, you have to flip them or rotate them just to get the normals facing the right way. So there we have a basic sleeve. You can see it's just cut, the thumbs cut into it slightly there. But that's now, the basic shape's in place. So we can now start to play around with this and maybe get something a bit more interesting. So maybe we want to select these points, add a bit of a point sort of at the top over the palm. So let's drop that down a couple there just to make it thinner. We want it to fit around the arm a little bit more. And then we could maybe use the curve tool, add a bit of a curve on the bottom of the arm there, on the bottom of the arm there. And then just so these match up, snap those points to the grid. Although we're probably better off if we snap that up there, so that's the grid spacing is exactly the same. So again, let's go back to that point there, snap it to there, so it's mirroring this one, so that's okay. And this has been updating as we've been working. Let's just move these down. So we've got the sleeve, but we need to attach these points to the outer areas of the sleeves here. I think what we might do first is just take a quick break here, and then we'll look at sewing those elements in the next video.